The format is diversified. The best of the best, the Clen de la Clen, are going to be playing this weekend. What are some interesting side deck choices that have kind of been floating around? Now, you guys know about the more standardized mind control. There have been a lot of side deck choices floating around. Some of them you might be aware of, some of them you might not be able to afford, like evenly matched. I wanted to talk about 5 rather interesting things that I saw coming out of UK Nationals this weekend. So, and something interesting from Japan. So, numero uno over here. This one is actually from Japan, and I don't know if it's going to catch on TCG side, but Threatening Roar. So Threatening Roar gives you the ability to have a chainable trap card to stop an advancement of the opponent's board, which is, by the way, fantastic. It gives you chainability, which is something that I've kind of noticed when you're playing in these matchups. Having a card that stops your opponent from being able to OTK you is great. You know, Sky Striker Trickstar has the infinite firewall kill. The Threatening Roar does allow you to stop that. And now with new end-of-match procedures being as absolutely shitty as ever in the TCG, you've kind of entered into that general place, I think that's the best way to say it, where chainable trap cards do take a little bit more precedence. Now, Japan, when you're playing against this constant flow of mirror match, mirror match, mirror match, Threatening Roar gives you that ability to shut off Hayate from really doing anything to you. It forces your opponent to end their battle phase, so the resource pool that they would normally get from that is a little bit slowed down. But I think the advantage of Threatening Roar TCG side is far greater than the implications in the OCG, just because of everything that we've got going on. And I would love to see somebody take full advantage of this, just in general as a side deck theory application. You have a very good card at your disposal. I would argue that you could possibly find greater cards to advance your strategy, but the thing that's going to win the WCQ this weekend in America is not going to be, a standard cookie cutter build. It's going to be the innovation, the crazy shit. And I think Threatening Roar honestly gives you that edge in terms of just pure crazy shit. Now, the next one, we've also seen this in the OCG. We've seen this a lot across the pond this weekend at the WCQ in the United Kingdom, and it's mind control. We've also seen this a lot in our format, but being able to just outright steal your opponent's Link 3, Link 4, auto-answer it out, take control of your opponent's Sky Striker monster, and turn it into your own. Mind control doesn't really have any implications or side effects for you other than what it can't attack. But we never really gave a shit about that. We're in an era now where more generic S cards, we have more summoning mechanics than before. So you know what that means? It's time to play things like mind control. And just the general assessment that I've gotten from this card, seeing it being signed in just full numbers everywhere, the card is actually really good. I can't stress it enough. Being able to just take your opponent's Sky Striker monster and start your own engine, being forced to go second in certain matchups, certain matchups are absolute shit for you. But mind control looks to alleviate some of that stress. Steal your opponent's fucking firewall. As long as there isn't some sort of co-linked nightmare across the table ruining your day, which there very well could be. Mind control does tend to get the mileage that the card actually deserves. Just because, being a one-card engine starter, being able to move a threat out of the way, being able to set up and break your opponent's combo while making your own, it's just got too many damn, great things going about it. I don't think it's for every deck, don't get me wrong, but I think in the general-esque side of things, for what it does, is great. Now, next one I'm going to talk about is Raw's Testicles, aka Sphere Mode. So, we saw Sphere Mode go to the wayside in the TCG. A lot of people just stopped playing it. And then you look at the UK Nationals deck list, and you see Sphere Mode everywhere. I don't know what happened. I know they don't have Link Creable legal, so a lot of the things that they might be using Sphere Mode for, that we were using Sphere Mode for, has just disappeared. Now, I'm not saying that the TCG America is further ahead of the metagame. I actually think it's incorrect not to be looking at Sphere Mode as a side deck choice right now. Being able to play it in a deck that doesn't really rely on its core normal summon is where the Testicle really shines. But the thing is, it gives you the ability to answer a Pendulum 3 negate board, which Pendulum Magician's kind of coming back out of the woodwork. It doesn't really shock any of us. You know, it sucks that it took people by surprise. But you use Sphere Mode in the way to break your opponent's board out of just game state mechanics, as opposed to, you know, trying to play through your opponent's hard-held, you know, negations and things like that. Man, if you testicle somebody, congratulations to you. You deserve the win. I just think that some sort of number of Sphere Mode over kaijus. I know a lot of people were playing kaijus. I don't like kaijus. Single answer outs as opposed to a 3 monster out. I mean, it's high risk versus high reward. I mean, Sphere Mode is definitely a much higher risk, and the reward is greater because, you know, being able to answer 3. But you can't answer 2 with Sphere Mode as opposed to kaiju that can answer a singular. Just another decision you're going to have to make. The next one here was actually something I saw massively across UK Nationals. I'm sure we're going to see it a lot in the TCG too here. Ga Cowboy. Now, we've seen this a little bit in the side decks here too, come to think about it. A lot of people do not have this in their core extra deck. They feel that the space dedicated in their main extra deck is fine. But when you find yourself getting into a situation where time is clicking down on the timer, and you're like, well, fuck. Unfortunately, sometimes push comes to shove, and you're aware that you have decided on Cowboy. Cowboy honestly, Cowboy's the best damn resource you can get to. It's a card that you don't have to draw. It's a card that just takes 2 level 4s to make. And when you produce this level 4, you get to ping your opponent for 800. You know, this end phase shit that we've got going on here in the TCG is ridiculous. But I think a lot of players have started to realize that you can take advantage of one of the best burn cards in the game, and all conveniently packed into one main phase 1. On the downside, there are alternatives like Heartland Draco and things like that. Nobody's actually playing these, but if you somehow end up in your battle phase attacking your opponent directly on that timer that's already ticking down on you, you will probably find yourself in a better position. But for the time being, people have just chosen to go for Gaga Cowboy as an extra deck resource that they will have access to in the later games in case time is there. Not everybody needs Abyss Dweller in certain matchups. You can very easily side out Dweller if you're playing Dweller. But you do have resources available to you to just side out for literally no reason and get something better in terms of OTKs. And then the last one we're going to talk about here is going to be Nightbeam. Now, a lot of people are going with MST, Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclones. I believe in 2 decks this weekend coming out of the United Kingdom Nationals, I saw Nightbeam. So what does Nightbeam give you over all of these other cards? Nightbeam does not allow you to chain directly onto Nightbeam itself. So if I activate and target your face down Widow Anchor, if you have another Widow Anchor, you can chain that Widow Anchor onto this one and then activate the Widow Anchor that I targeted to be able to resolve both of them. But generally, Nightbeam is a card that you use as a means to stop your opponent's chainable cards from being able to be chained. Now, I don't think by any stretch of the imagination, here we go again, that Nightbeam is one of the best routes. But if you've had very bad luck with chainable cards and general things like that, I think Nightbeam can give you an edge over some of the competition, and it seems a little bit more cheeky than it actually is. But just remember, sniping your opponent's chainable cards is a-okay. Now there's still a lot of the more generic stuff. You've got impermanence, you've got kaijus, evenly matched, you know, a lot more of the core stable stuff. But these have been the things that I've seen making more of a splash, no pun intended, coming from the United Kingdom Nationals. You know, pick your poison going into this weekend. Your side deck choices are going to be absolutely optimal. You're going to have to know everything. You're going to have to know every matchup. And if Burning Abyss or even Mermails come out of left field, I hope you're prepared for that matchup, because things can get very bad very quickly in those matchups. But don't let me be the one to tell you so until it's too late. So stay fresh, YouTube. Remember, take a shower before the WCQ this weekend. If you're just playing regular locals this weekend and not attending the event like well, maybe these choices will guide you down a better path and top your local when all your good players are out of town. Alright guys, do Serenos. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.